You're watching Mission 360, where we take you around the globe to experience lives, places, and mission. Mission 360 brings you cutting-edge news and stories about Adventist mission around the globe. So stay with us as we visit a world of mission. Today on Mission 360, we'll look at efforts to protect religious freedom. In many countries of the world, people are free to worship and follow their conscience when it comes to what they believe. But that's not true in all countries of the world. Let's join Sarah and Caleb as they talk with Dr. John Gratz from the Office of Public Affairs and Religious Liberty for the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Hi, Dr. Gratz. How are you?
Hi, hello. Doing well. You too?
So, religious liberty.
Yeah.
It kind of explains itself in its own way already, but what does it mean to you?
Religious liberty for me, it's a gift from God because God gave us the freedom to choose. But it's also human rights. It's the core of human rights because, you know, also in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 18, you have everything about religious freedom. The freedom to choose. Religious freedom is the freedom to choose a religion, to have a religion or not. You know, the freedom to change your religion, the freedom to teach your religion and to share your religion. And of course, that's very important, the freedom to share what you believe.
Well, like, it's important in our country, it's in our Constitution. Like, why is religious freedom so important?
As I said, because, you know, imagine what your life would be without religious freedom. Imagine I said to you, you know, I am the government, I say to both of you, you have no right to change your religion. What does it mean? You have no right to decide about your religion. It means you have no right, no freedom of conscience. It means I look at you as people who have no right. And it goes directly to our understanding of the human dignity. You know, God created us with the right to choose. And if I denied you the right to choose, of course, I believe I do like if I was God. And this is what it's important, because if you have no right to choose, you have no right to think.
Yeah.
You know, if you think and you cannot choose, what does it mean? It goes really to our human dignity. It's so much important for the individuals and also for the society.
So it's a God-given right to humanity,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Are there any specific examples of countries where there are problems with
Yes,
this?
there are many countries where we have problems. You know, there are about 10 countries around the world where you don't have any kind of religious freedom. You have countries where in the constitution, in the law, you have no right to change your religion. Means you have no right to change, no right to decide. There are countries where there are laws where you have no right to talk, to disagree with some religion and the main religion. And if it happens, you go to prison and you may be sentenced to death. Imagine again what would be your life if you were living in such a country.
Right.
No right to choose, no right to talk, just to follow what? What some other people decide for you.
Could you give some examples of some countries?
Yeah, there are. It's always, you know, it's always difficult to give some example about a specific country. Yes, I will. You know, if you go to North Korea, you will have no chance to go to church, except if you are listed and so on. But normally, you will have no chance, no possibility to talk about your religion. And now if you go to about 40 countries, you go to the street, you know, you go to the street and you take your Bible and you try to share what is in the Bible, you will be arrested. You will be arrested immediately because you have no right to do that. And yes, there are many places where there is no religious freedom. And of course, if we talk about mission, when you don't have religious freedom, what about the TV? What about Christian or religious program on TV or on radio? What about hospital? You have no right to do that.
Yeah. And I've heard some stories where practicing religious freedom results in death. Like, it's awful. I could not imagine having to be quieted like that.
Oh yes, you know, I have a story, but that's a tragedy. Just a few months ago, or last year, I received an email from someone who decided to become Christian. She was a mother and she lost everything just because she decided to become Christian.
It's awful.
Another example where a young mother, she disagreed with other people about religion. She was arrested. People wanted to kill her, and she's still in prison. And someone, the governor of the country where she was living, decided to defend her. What happened to him? He was assassinated. And the minister of the government said, that's not fair. We should not do like that. We should let people free. What happened to him? He was assassinated too. It's very serious. It's very serious. You have to remember that when you live, you have the privilege to live in a country where you have religious freedom. You have to do your best to keep your religious freedom.
Well, how about like today, like countries like U.S., like, modern day today, how much of the world has like problems with like...
Yeah, a majority of a country have religious freedom, but 73% of the world population live in a country where they don't have religious freedom. But in the US, you have religious freedom, but you may still have some problems.
Yeah.
Like Adventists or Jews, you don't want to work on Saturday.
Yeah,
you have maybe some exam on Saturday, or you have a job to do on Saturday, and you lose your job because you don't want, for religious reason, to work on Saturday. What can we do? We are really to promote religious freedom, to say that it's not just the little things. It goes to our dignity. It goes to what we believe about God, and people should respect. We should always find a way to respect religious freedom for all, not just for us, but for all.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you for coming here today.
Pleasure, and I'm sure that you will support and defend religious freedom for all.
Yeah.
And everywhere, not just where you are living, but everywhere, because there are places where you don't have religious freedom today, but maybe tomorrow it will change. And where we are living today, we may lose our religious freedom.
It is so easy to take religious liberty for granted. And what do we do when that is threatened, when it confronts us and our beliefs? Let's travel to India to see how some young people reacted when their religious liberty was threatened.
They get admission for colleges based on the result, and therefore it is very crucial, very determinant for their future life. One cannot think of not attempting their examination if they want to pursue their study further.
Dr. John is principal of Ko Tarakara Adventist School. Like many Seventh-day Adventist schools in India, Ko Tarakara is a mission school, with about half of the students coming from Adventist families. The school has been accredited through the Indian government as a higher secondary school. This accreditation comes with government-administered testing during the students' 10th year of study. Recently, this crucial test was given on Saturday. Dr. John made an appointment with the Minister of Education for his district and asked that an accommodation be made for his school so that his students could stay true to their faith and not take the exam during Sabbath hours.
He said, I'm also a Christian. I would write an exam on Sabbath, or I would do anything on Saturday. I said, let's not debate on that matter, because your faith is different, my faith is different. I wouldn't do that, and my students won't do that. And therefore, please make it possible for my children to write the exam, make some alternate arrangement.
The Minister of Education did not make an accommodation and told Dr. John to take his issue to the court.
Court passed an order in favor of us to protect their religious faith. The court ordered that exam may be conducted on the same day in the night, after 6 o'clock, in the night.
This court order caused a flood of media to descend on the school campus.
Newspaper and from the TV channel, everywhere people flooded in. And they asked me, what's this? The whole public, the entire public came to know about Sabbath. What is Sabbath and why they keep Sabbath. Now when I go to the government office, I say I'm from the Seventh-day Adventist school, I'm the principal of the Seventh-day Adventist school. Oh, you the exam on Sabbath keepers. Immediately they come, they know. Then when I start explaining, no need to explain, sir, we have read it in the paper.
But this is only a short-term victory. The court order will eventually expire. The long-term solution for Dr. John and the students at Kotarakara is for the school to be accredited by a different organization. Many other Seventh-day Adventist schools in India are affiliated with the Indian Council of Secondary Education. This accrediting body takes special care to administer tests to Adventist schools on Sunday. Currently, Kotarakara facilities will not pass inspection to become a member of the council. Member schools must have adequate classroom space for each student. And this school has far outgrown its current buildings. Because of your financial support of the World Budget and Mission offerings, a new classroom block will be constructed on the Kotarakara campus. The new building will bring 20 new classrooms and allow the school to be ready for the council's inspection. Thank you for your support of the mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. To find out more, please visit adventistmission.org.
Treat yourself to Faith Tales of Frontline Missionaries. Every quarter, the Office of Adventist Mission releases never-heard-before stories of modern heroes. These are men and women who go beyond the call of duty to touch lives and bless people with the message of hope. This beautiful DVD is yours free if you call today. Here is the number you will need. Call today. Or visit us online.
Welcome back to Mission 360, where we're talking about religious liberty and mission. We've been talking with Dr. John Gratz, and joining him now is attorney Dwayne Leslie.
Hi, welcome Dwayne. Welcome back, Dr. Gratz.
Thank you for having me here.
Dwayne, your office is involved with the International Religious Liberty Association. What do they do? What is it? What do they stand for?
Well, the International Religious Liberty Association is really the organization that does more advocacy work internationally on behalf of religious liberty. So it's not just a Seventh-day Adventist institution. It involves people from a variety of different faiths. And one of the main tasks, we advocate for the freedom of religion for all people, not just Seventh-day Adventists.
Yes, and we have several activities. You know, there is one activity is to work with the International Religious Liberty Association. The other activities are to represent the church, you know, at different level, at the government level, at the international organization level. We represent the church. We speak on behalf of religious freedom. We speak on behalf of the church. We visit countries. We analyze countries where there is no religious freedom. We have TV program. We publish magazine and journal and so on. It means there are many activities and many trips around the world. Yeah. And my colleague, Dwayne, represents the church in Washington.
Yeah, so one of my main tasks in Washington, D.C. is to represent the World Church on legislative issues. So anytime this situation comes up where we need to follow legislative matters before the United States Congress, the White House, or dealing with international issues at the State Department, or even with the embassies, that'll fall to my responsibility. And it's an honor to be able to represent our global church down in Washington on those needs as they come up.
It means every time we have questions about Washington, about the U.S. policy, about religious freedom in America, you know, Attorney Dwayne Leslie, he's the man.
He's the man to go to.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And we have also someone representing us at the United Nations and before the international organization, Dr. Diop. And it means we have also a voice. And you know, which is very important, Dwayne, is we can speak. You can imagine we can speak before the government of the world about religious freedom and about the church, because we represent the church and we are recognized by the United Nations.
Right. Now, what is the state of religious liberty today?
Well, one of the things that is interesting is that every year the Pew Forum does an annual survey on the state of religion throughout the world, and they found that 3 out of 4 residents of the world live under some form of religious restriction. And so what that tells you is that for those of us here in the United States, we're very fortunate, but most people live under some form of restriction or in some cases repression. So while things are good here, things could always be a lot better in different parts of the world.
Which means when we talk about restriction, which means, you know, you have no right to build a school, a Christian school or religious schools. You have no right to have public meetings. You have no right to have TV programs. You have no right to build a hospital, even to serve the country. You have no right. It means you have a lot of restriction, and you are not considered as an equal citizen. You know, most of the time you are a second-class citizen. When you try to get a job, people ask, what is your religion? And sometimes on the passport there is a religion. They say, no, you don't have the right religion. If it means you will not get the job.
So there are many countries where when you have an imbalance where there's one religion that is in the majority, sometimes they don't always look out for the rights of those of us that are in religions that are in the minority. And so, and that's what the report went on to detail. So you have examples of harassment, or they make you register before you can actually even evangelize, or to, as Dr. Grott said, to be able to have worship.
Just imagine what happened in some countries. You know, you have a meeting a Saturday morning, and suddenly the police raid your church, and they take the children, and they ask the name of the parents, and they ask the children to say if they have been forced to go to church. And after you have your name on the list, and everything you do, you know, your name appear. You are not a good citizen. You are maybe, in some way, a criminal, because changing your religion is a crime. You can imagine just for that, because you have another religion, you become a criminal and you go to jail and you can be executed just for that.
Wow.
Dwayne, why is religious liberty important? How does that affect mission? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, in order to do mission, I mean, that actually is the fundamental principle behind our religious liberty. Religious liberty means that we all have the chance to worship the way that we want to. But we can't do mission work if we don't have freedom. And so in order to truly do mission, we need to have an environment that allows you and I to believe different things or the same thing, or not to believe anything at all. Yeah. And so the crux of mission work is to be able to go into countries and share the wonderful message that we have.
You know, when I became Christians, I was 18 years old. What did I do? The first thing I did, you know, was to share what I believe. I visited my family, the member of my family, and said, this is what I believe. You know, you should read the Bible. And we talk. Imagine that you do that and you are arrested and you go to jail and you spend years in prison and maybe someone will kill you. This is what happened when you don't have religious freedom.
So mission is impaired by some countries sometimes that they don't really agree with what you believe in, so they won't let you help. Like their own country?
Or they might even just say that you're not allowed to hold an evangelistic crusade.
Yeah.
Or if only certain religions that meet the certain standard, they make you register. And so anyone who's not registered is forbidden from building a church, from being able to have Bible studies. And so you see different examples all over the world. And so that's one of the things that we try to speak out against, to say that it's important to have freedom of religion for all people.
And we have also to explain why. First, because, you know, we are human beings. and God gave us the freedom to choose.
Of course, yeah.
Secondly, because it's a human right, a basic human right. And also sometimes government said, oh, but if we have religious freedom in our country, that would be the war between religion. There is no war between religion in the US. It means we can live together, having different religion or faith, having different conviction, but in spite of that, we can work for the best of the society, for the best of our country.
So we're almost out of time, but before we go, we have one more question. What can we do to change that? Can people like us, regular people, what can we do to help?
Well, I'd say everyone can be the voice for freedom. And so here in the United States, I would encourage everyone to at least don't hesitate to contact your local public official, whether that's your congressman or your senator. And when you read things in the paper and you see stories that are of interest, don't be afraid to speak out, because one voice really can make the difference. And all these voices together can actually change the world. And so that's what I would encourage people to do.
And if we don't defend religious freedom, if we don't promote religious freedom, we will lose our freedom.
Of course, yeah.
That's important. Well, we're out of time for today. Thank you, Attorney Duane and Dr. Gratz, for coming.
Thank you, pleasure.
In today's world, the lack of religious freedom or political freedom leads to tremendous dislocation, and we see hundreds of thousands of refugees moving from place to place searching for freedom. On this next video, you'll see a group of people who have found new hope and new life in a new country. Let's watch that video now.
Okay, these Burmese people, mainly they came in Delhi to search the job and to get support from the government of India. And they were very few, only 34 people were there in the beginning. But now we can see around more than 300 people are Adventists, and we are running 2 churches for them. And they are very faithful, they are dedicated to the service of God, and they are very faithful in returning a tithe and offering, and they are supporting the church as a whole in Delhi. When they come to India or Delhi, they need that somebody should be with them so that they can be encouraged morally and they can grow spiritually. Mainly, they want to uplift them morally, because when they come in India, morally they are down, because they have experienced in the past in their own country that Burma government, they have mistreated them. But when they come to India, they are completely down, and they need somebody who can morally uplift them. The Burmese people, they are the people of music. They love to sing, they love to play, and they love to express themselves, love of God through songs and other activities. They are very good in singing, and when they sing, it gives a good impact on the church as a whole and on the society too.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Mission 360.
Treat yourself to faith tales of frontline missionaries. Every quarter, the Office of Adventist Mission releases never-heard-before stories of modern heroes. These are men and women who go beyond the call of duty to touch lives and bless people with the message of hope. This beautiful DVD is yours free if you call today. Here is the number you will need. Call today. Or visit us online.
It's so easy to take for granted our right to worship openly, according to our own choice, according to our own conscience. But let's remember to pray for so many men and women, boys and girls, in various areas of the world where they don't have that freedom. Well, that's about it for today's program. Thank you so much for your continuing prayers, financial support, and personal involvement in the mission of this church. To learn more about Adventist Mission, you can always visit our website at adventistmission.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gary Krause, and I hope you can join us next time right here as we visit a world of mission on Mission 360.